Now, this is a crazy, crazy story, man, because I don't know what the hell Chicago got going on, but they making sure they stay in the news. I ain't like every week they got rid of Angel, Ari Atkins. Now they have cut Haley Van Lith and replaced her with Natasha Cloud. Not only replaced her with Natasha Cloud, they gave Natasha Cloud $500,000. Damn! Talk about a turn of events. If you guys don't know, this story has been going viral over the last about 20 minutes.
The arena looked like a deserted landscape. During the recent game against Nigeria, the Indiana Fever tickets that used to be impossible to find were suddenly surrounded by nothing but empty chairs and a heavy silence. Supporters who once happily paid top dollar to witness those long-distance logo threes are now choosing to stay home, creating a massive gap in the stadium. This harsh reality is hitting the front office like a physical blow as the massive wave of hype finally starts to crash. It is the exact kind of visual that keeps league bosses awake at night, wondering exactly where their audience went. This isn't just a small slump in turnout. It is a powerful, intentional statement from a dedicated fan base that has officially reached its limit with the current path the franchise is taking.
Oh, man. I mean, no one saw this coming. I didn't even see this coming. Andy Constable said breaking the Skyers signing Natasha Cloud to a one-year deal at $555,000, bro. Now, they immediately went to their X account because what they did was they cut Haley Van Lith first, right? So they cut her, right? And within like 10 minutes of them cutting, within an hour, they put this up. And
right now, ticket costs are plummeting much faster than anyone anticipated. Seats that were previously listed for $74 are being cleared out for just $40. We are seeing price cuts of nearly 50% just to try and get people into the building. Even the highest nosebleed sections, which would normally be $5 or $10 tickets in almost any other market, were being pushed for as much as $71 until the public completely turned them down. Now those exact same spots are sitting at $47, and still, nobody is buying them. The gray sections on the digital seating maps are spreading like a contagion, revealing huge blocks of unsold seats for a team that was supposed to be the most popular ticket in the country.
Their X account, because what they did was they cut Haley Van Lith first, right? So they cut her, right? And within like 10 minutes of them cutting, within an hour, they put this up, adding a cloud to our sky, cloud to the shy, Tasha. What the hell? Then they said, thank you, Haley. Wishing you nothing but the best. So Haley Van Lith is gone up out of there. I'm interested to see.
The warning signs are now being broadcast to the entire sports media world. Industry insiders are pointing out that the ticket trends look alarming, and a sense of panic is beginning to show. You can see the evidence on the booking websites where those unavailable gray spots used to cover the entire map. Instead, those maps are wide open for a game that is less than a week away. This sudden lack of public interest is truly shocking. It appears the Caitlin Clark phenomenon is being met by an even more powerful force. It is a structured boycott from fans who are tired of feeling like they are being taken advantage of. The leadership thought they could charge professional NBA prices for a product that is currently in a state of chaos.
To go. I'm so glad Raven or Fly J didn't get drafted by the trash franchise. Watch, they still gonna suck this year. I've been saying I don't think Chicago gonna do nothing. I don't even think they're gonna make it to the playoffs. Somebody said 2025 first round pick, not even getting a second season. Whoa. Yeah. And they did draft her in the first round last year. They did. The same front office. This is crazy, bro. Thank you for waiving her, and I hope she finds a new team. I believe she can play in this league with some development, but protecting her just to waive her for a player who talked themselves out.
People are holding their ground this season, and this movement is gaining significant speed. This protest isn't just a simple social media hashtag. It is a cold financial reality that is forcing the entire organization to reconsider its approach. Fans are very loudly sharing their unhappiness regarding Stephanie White and the specific way the roster is being managed. The online comment sections are overflowing with followers promising they won't spend another cent until real changes occur. This is the massive issue that no one in the mainstream press wants to discuss. However, those rows of empty seats in the center of the arena tell a story that simply cannot be hidden or spun into something positive.
Themselves out the league is nasty. Right after is nasty. Somebody said, I don't get it. Why protect her in the expansion draft and sell picks off just to cut her? Exactly. Somebody said, why is Vandersloot on the roster? You guys protected her so she couldn't leave your organization just to F her up by waiving her before the season starts. Hope she finds a team that values her. She's not a bad player. She needs teams that believes in her, give her a chance to land, assign her as a backup. Sky officially the worst team in the league. Congrats. She had the highest. Scott said F Angel Reese and started to cook. Natasha Cloud to the Sky. Veteran leadership plus elite defense plus championship DNA. Sky just went from a rebuild to serious contenders. Hell no. No, bruh. Chicago trying to contend, ruin that mystic pick. Big W for Chicago Cloud leadership. This dude is all over the place right here, bruh. WNBA free agency is wild. Season literally starts next Friday. They're doing all of this just still to not win. That's like my take on it. Y'all doing all of this to still potentially not even win.
In this uncertain space, the Indiana Fever front office is currently facing a mountain of trouble. When you have floor-level seats available for $1,500 and not a single person is interested, you know the brand is suffering. They are attempting to move sections for $900 and even as high as $2,300, but the actual demand has totally vanished. It is a very risky strategy to overcharge for your product and push away your core audience at the same time. The supporters are talking with their checkbooks and they are making it clear that the corporate nonsense has gone on far too long. These drastic price reductions are essentially a white flag of total surrender.
And to be for real, she in a city where she can do a lot of talking. A whole lot of talking. And they gave her $500,000. $500,000, bro, is crazy. Crazy work, man. I can't even lie. Just that much money to Natasha Cloud is beyond me. Damn, man. So this was the original report the Chicago Sky signs. Cloud. That is crazy.
Stephanie White was recently required to speak with the media, and the stress in the room was very easy to feel. It was a mandatory meeting, meaning she had no choice but to sit there and face the difficult questions while trying to keep up a calm, professional look. You could tell that frustration was simmering just below the surface. She spoke quite a bit about how the game is evolving, but it felt more like a way to look away from the current crisis. When your arena is half filled and your ticket rates are being slashed in front of everyone, talking about the growth of the sport feels like an insult to the people who are actually paying for the tickets.
I feel like on these unserious ass players, I just gotta be honest, man. Skip Bayless returning to ESPN. Bayless is set to appear alongside Stephen A. Smith on 5 episode from Source, marking his first ESPN appearance since leaving the network in 2016. Wow, this is crazy. Skip going back to ESPN. Wow. But yeah, man. I don't know.
The way Aaliyah Boston is being used is another huge point of anger for fans following the Nigeria game. She was hardly utilized at all, and the absence of a strong post presence was very obvious. Fans are demanding answers as to why one of their premier stars is being sidelined or used poorly in this new offensive setup. White mentioned the need for a stretch big and providing chances for players, but the actual results are just not showing up yet. On the defensive end, Boston needs to be the anchor in the paint, but if the coaches can't find a way to keep her involved and out of foul trouble, the team will continue to struggle. The officials have also become part of the debate, especially regarding a perceived tilt in how fouls are called. Fans have noticed that the whistle seems to blow much more often for Caitlin Clark than it does for Aaliyah Boston. This internal difference is causing tension not just during play, but within the community of supporters as well. People want to see everyone treated fairly, and when they sense favoritism, it gives them another reason to join the protest. Stephanie White is stuck right in the middle of this officiating mess, trying to navigate the league's new stardom while keeping her team unified. Then there is the odd distraction of the leg sleeve. When asked why Caitlin Clark was wearing a new accessory, White brushed it off as a fashion choice, noting that people online seem to think it looks good. It was a rare light-hearted moment in a very high-pressure interview, but it also showed the gap between what the media focuses on and the real problems the team is facing. While the internet talks about clothing, the team is losing money and the fans are walking out. It felt like a distraction, a way to move away from the scary ticket sales and back toward the celebrity hype that started all this. There is a growing feeling that the league is trying to move too fast by charging NBA level rates before the actual foundation and team chemistry are established. They have built a financial bubble that is now popping. Stephanie White discussed the respect the players are finally receiving, but respect doesn't help pay for a $70 seat in the rafters. The mix of high visibility and expensive tickets has created a wall for the very people who supported this league when players were still traveling in vans. Now that they are flying across the globe, they seem to have forgotten who helped them get there. The Nigeria game feels like a dark preview of the future if this boycott carries on. Seeing those vacant seats in the heart of the building was a wake-up call for everyone except, seemingly, the Fever's marketing team. They are still holding on to those high prices in certain areas, hoping that long-range shots will eventually bring the fans back. But the audience is looking for more than just highlight reels. They want a franchise that respects their time and their hard-earned money. Every match that goes by with a half-empty arena is a victory for the boycott and a major loss for the owners. White said that the small details are what matter and that the players need to stay focused every night. However, the biggest detail they are overlooking is their relationship with the local community. You cannot claim to support the community while also pricing them out of the arena. The poor management from the front office is being revealed in real time. As the season continues, the heat on Stephanie White is only going to get worse. She is being forced to take responsibility for choices that might not even be hers to make. But as the leader of the coaching staff, she is the one who has to stand at the microphone. The financial damage from this protest is going to be enormous. When you cut prices by 40% and still can't fill the house, you are facing a massive loss in expected income. This is a business at its core, and the math just isn't working. The alarming sales are a direct result of fans standing their ground. It proves that even with the most famous rookie in the history of the game, you cannot ignore the rules of supply and demand. If the audience decides the cost is too high and the environment is negative, they will simply stay home and watch the drama from their living rooms. Stephanie White's required media talk felt more like a mission for damage control than a routine update. She spoke about the talent of the women and how the quality of play has risen, which is true, but it doesn't explain why people are staying away. The built-in biases she mentioned aren't the real issue here. The issue is the price of admission and a feeling that leadership isn't being held accountable. Fans are much smarter than the league thinks. They can tell when they are being treated like a bank account and they are choosing to close those accounts themselves. The 0.5-second basketball plan is meant to be the future. But right now, the Fever seem trapped in the past. They are fighting the same problems with ball movement and too much dribbling that have been there for weeks. If the coaching can't fix the product on the floor, the ticket prices will have to fall even further. We might see those $40 seats turn into $20 seats by the middle of the season. The front office is desperate to stop that from happening. But the fans hold all the cards now. They have realized that their absence is the most powerful tool they have in this whole situation. Watching the seat map turn from gray to white as tickets sit unsold is a perfect picture of a strategy that isn't working. The Fever are finding out the hard way that massive hype is a double-edged sword. It attracts a crowd, but it also brings very high standards and a low patience for corporate greed. Stephanie White can talk about being thankful for the process, but the process is currently failing. The fans are not just people in seats. They are the heartbeat of this sport. When they decide to take a stand, The whole structure begins to shake, and no amount of public relations can fix it. The fact that White had to point out her media session was mandatory says everything about the current mood. There is a us versus them mentality growing within the organization. They are trying to survive the storm, but the wind is only picking up. The boycott is gaining more power as more people see the strength of acting together. Every time a fan shares a photo of a price drop, it makes the movement stronger. It shows the fans are winning the fight for the heart of this team, forcing the wealthy owners to be the ones to flinch. As we get further into the year, everyone will be watching the attendance numbers. Will cheaper tickets be enough to bring people back? Or has the trust already been broken? Stephanie White is in a very tough spot, trying to lead a team to wins while the seats right behind her stay empty. The massive problem is growing every day, and eventually, it will break the current story. The league must understand they cannot grow if they leave their foundation behind. The grassroots support is fading and the polished corporate image is starting to crack. The growth of the WNBA is at a turning point. On one side, you have more fame and talent than ever before. On the other, you have a fan base that feels used and forgotten. Stephanie White's long history with the league gives her perspective, but it also makes her a target for those who feel the new WNBA has lost its spirit. The boycott is a sign of a much deeper problem, a gap between the people running the sport and the people who truly love it. If they don't find a way to close that gap soon, these poor ticket sales will turn into a long-term disaster. In the end, the fans are the ones with the real power, and they are finally starting to use it. This protest isn't just about a few dollars. It is about the soul of the game and how the league treats its most dedicated followers. Stephanie White and the Fever leadership can talk about growth all they want, but if the stadium is empty, the message is loud and clear. The time of blind loyalty has passed, and the time of accountability has arrived. Whether the front office listens or keeps ignoring the signs will decide if this team survives the challenge or falls under the weight of its own pride.